I need to have a conversation with college, high school, 8th grade, just athletes in general. I talk to so many on a daily basis, whether that be in my DMs or hopping on calls or having guys in my gym. I coach multiple teams, and I can't stop. I don't want to keep hearing the same thing of, yeah, I don't know if my high school strength training or my college strength coach is really solving my issues. I've been going to PT for 9 years or whatever it is. I've been going to PT for 6-7 months trying to understand this issue, and I can't get there. We have 8-week protocol, 16-week protocol. I did the same thing in college, okay? I was a guy that had chronic hip and low back issues. I went to literally like 15 different chiropractors and PTs combined. It was ridiculous. Okay, and I wasn't able to solve my issues. Now again, I'm not yelling at any PT, strength coach, doctor, you name it. Okay, we're not yelling at anybody, and we're not coming at anybody. But the problem is the education, because over the past 2 years, I've had over 300 athletes that I've worked with. Okay, hopping on calls every single day, having clients in my gym, being able to address things like torn labrums, being able to address things like fractured clavicles, torn ACLs fresh off of surgery, torn meniscuses in the gym, and it's a lack of strength training, okay? And I just bring this energy because it frustrates me to see athletes in pain and just watch strength coaches and other high school coaches be like, yeah, like push through it, push through it. Having a program with 9 sets of bench press. What are we talking about? Like, I went on a rant recently when I saw some of this stuff. Just think about it just give perspective for a second. Bodybuilder, let's just say C-Bum, Chris Bumstead, Saquon Barkley. Do they sprint the same way? Are they doing the same strength training protocols? Like, we don't bodybuild. We don't need 9 sets. I just went on a rant here. I was just writing down some things that I hear on a daily basis that I need to change. I'm going on a tour across the entire United States, possibly global, to be able to explain and workshop with coaches to help them understand how to completely address injury, build actual injury prevention, and start your foundation of your strength training with mobility. Because I haven't seen it fail. You can add your speed and plyometrics on later on, but you must be able to handle all ranges of motion with every single joint in the body, whether that be ankle, knee, hip, low back, shoulders, elbows, wrists, neck. Every single joint should be able to handle range. It shouldn't be restricted. You shouldn't have tightness. You shouldn't have pinching. You shouldn't have any knee flare-ups. I mean, what are we doing? How many, I couldn't tell you, dude, I literally just hopped off a call just now, okay, with a kid who's dealt with chronic knee pain his entire life. He was 18 years old, coming off of low back issues, meniscus stuff, patellar tendonitis. He wasn't able to address it. He went to PT for 2 years straight. 2 years straight. Had to stop playing college basketball, okay? Literally. Could not solve his issues going to PT. I sent him one YouTube video that I just dropped. Recently. Athlete lower body mobility routine. He literally just texted me back. Hey, first mobility routine session. Great. Just did it. Awesome. How did it go? I'm able to walk without pain right now. I'm not lying to you. Like, I'm not lying to you. And I'm not trying to say that my training is the absolute best training, which 100% I believe it is. So I'm not feeding my ego, though. I'm being dead honest with you. Because every single athlete that comes into my gym or trains with me online makes results. They get out of pain, and they feel great. And this is what athletes should thrive to get to, instead of thinking that they have to be in pain for the rest of their lives or continuously struggle with the PT or have the body be fatigued. Coach, I have shin splints. Coach, I have shin splints. It's such a common thing that people say. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how to solve them. Hit your tib raises. Work on them. Bent knee calf raise. We're not training the lower leg in training. I bet more than half the high schools and colleges in the country aren't even training the lower leg like we do. tib raises, calf raises, bent knee calf raises, seated calf raises, isometrics, plyos. Do not focus on recovery after injury. You shouldn't ever focus on recovery after you get injured. What's the point of that? That's like somebody 80 years old who didn't give a crap about their health, finally gets cancer or whatever, maybe 60 years old, gets cancer, and is like, oh man, I got to start being healthy again. You must build injury prevention within your strength training. And if you're not, and you're just focusing on heavy weight, you're setting yourself up for failure, brother, sister. We got to figure this out. The goal is 0 non-contact injuries. Call me crazy right in front of my face. I worked with a high school this year, a high school football team. We had zero non-contact injuries. In the state of New Jersey, New Jersey's got pretty good football. Listen, 0 non-contact injuries, and I want to do that with every single team that I possibly can work with. If I can train a team, multiple teams, to make 0 non-contact injuries, that is revolutionizing the game of any sport. This was a football team, high contact sport. Minimal injuries all year long. Why? Because we train the joint with the same intent. And we focused on force production, and yes, we went heavy, right? We didn't just do mobility or Pilates or whatever you want to call it, whatever you see on my page. We focused on all ranges of motion. We built a great foundation of mobility. We added speed and plyometrics. The athletes felt good, and they never were more fatigued. We always adapted to where they were feeling in terms of recovery after game day. You got to understand it's a process. It's a process. And the second that you think that bench, squat, deadlift is the answer for you getting faster, stronger, and bigger, good luck. I'm done ranting, but I just need to understand this. I need you to understand this. Because I'm going on a run. You could be with me or not with me. 0 non-contact injuries has to happen. It needs to happen, and it will happen. Stop not practicing what you preach, strength coaches, okay? I may make a separate video on this, but personally, I'm a strength coach. I'm a strength and performance coach, okay? I'm a freak. I can do crazy shit. I can squat a lot of weight. I can jump out of the gym. I'm 5'10" and I'm dunking. If you're a strength coach and you want to call yourself one of the top strength coaches in the country, but you're not being a product of your product, your athletes will be half as motivated. If you're not doing what you want your athletes to get to, good luck. I mean, seriously. Athletes want to be taught by guys that have already done it. Think about business. You want to be taught from guys that have already done the thing that you want to get to. So I'm thriving every single day, literally every single day, training my balls off to literally become the athlete that is better than every single athlete that I train. Every single athlete that I train. So I'm able to then help them in the process because I know how it goes. The second that you decide that you're like, I'm getting old. I'm going to hop on the elliptical. I'm going to start eating the meatball sub. Listen, you don't understand the athlete's mind anymore. You don't understand it. You need to live as an athlete and become a coach. Heal yourself. Stop relying on stim and ice. This is a big one. Do not rely on your PT or your chiropractor or your doctor to make you feel better for 2 hours. I don't know how many times I have to say it to so many athletes, and I'm not calling PTs and these chiropractors and these healing functional places bad at all, because I definitely went there and I used their stuff, and it was great in the time being, potentially when I was feeling very painful. But to rely on it is a serious problem. It's a serious problem, and you'll never get to the ability that you want to get to as an athlete. If you want to get to a freak ability as an athlete, and you're thinking that stim and ice is going to be the process in getting there, you're lost because you're constantly hitting a setback. Ice, the only thing that ice does, and you can check any study in the world, I don't care who comes at me, ice, all it does is literally numbs the area and actually slows down the blood flow. And blood flow is key for healing any type of joint injury, tweak, anything. Okay? Stim You get this, like, stim is blood flow. It's just, again, it's flowing of the, like, it's an act, look, to be honest, I don't even know what stim is. All stim is literally a stimulant to get you feeling a little bit better for an hour. But I'll tell you this much. If you focus on mobility and blood flow, for example, hitting the sled or working on some couch stretch, Jefferson curl, some of these movements, these simple movements, and you just, instead of focusing on the stim and ice, you'll make massive progress in a surprisingly short amount of time. I'll give it a week. For example, I had a kid, he's a linebacker. Okay, he's going to the NFL next year, or this year. He came in with patellar tendonitis and a chronic Achilles injury he's been dealing with all year long. Probably some ligament tears. He never got it checked out. It's been 2 weeks now. We're now getting him to the point where he can rep plyometrics, jumping without any pain, squatting full depth, no knee pain. 1 week. He's been in the PT for 16 weeks. Improve warm-ups, strength training, mobility, diet, and lifestyle. This is everything. This is everything. This is everything. Okay? Your warm-up is not a warm-up. It's part of the training. Okay? We build up blood flow to the joint. That's what it should be called. It shouldn't be a warm-up. You're building up blood flow to the joint to be able to handle the compound movements later on. Simple as that. So be intentional with your warm-ups. All athletes. Your strength training has to be focused around your weak points. And then you build up to the free capacities. But focus on your weak points first. Get your body in balance. Focus on the areas that you're tight, that you compensate, that you have restriction. And then address them slowly, and then work the compound movements. Then work your bench, squat, deadlift. Improve those areas. For me, I'm focusing on dips, incline dumbbell, bench, whatever it is. Deep range of motion squats, deep range of motion RDLs, back extensions, etc. There's still bench, squat, deadlift. That's the idea. Seated good morning, split squat. Your mobility, twice a week. No matter what, twice a week hit mobility all day long. I'm hitting mobility all day long though. What is mobility though? Mobility should be a part of the strength training. If you're training full ranges of motion, or the range of motion that you can handle, and you're getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, that is mobility. It's a mobile joint. And if you feel tight in an area, open it up. Actively stretching it. Actively stretching it. Do not touch your toes. It'll do nothing for you. Diet. Diet. Get enough protein. Eat whole foods. It's really that simple. Eat whole foods. Okay? If you're trying to bulk, up the protein intake. Have some creatine, up the fat, eat a lot of butter, eat a lot of cheese, have some fruit, have some rice, sweet potato, etc. Eat whole foods. It reduces the amount of inflammation that you'll have in the body. Probably one of the reasons why you got injured or had a problem in the first place. Probably like 80, 90%. Don't quote me on it, but I mean, I've never felt better. I've been eating like this for 2 years. I feel great. Meat, fruit, raw dairy, honey, Saladino. It's phenomenal. Lifestyle, got to get outside. Sun in the eyes, stop staring at the screen. LEDs are terrible for you. Listen, I'm not a health freak like that, but I'll tell you this much. I'm grounding. I'm getting my feet in the grass. I love that stuff. Nature is beautiful. Go for walks. Get outside. I promise you it'll feel better. You could call me crazy. You could think I'm delusional. Great. Go do it for yourself. Like, please, just go do it for yourself. See how you feel. And get to sleep at a decent time, which I got to do a better job of. I'll tell you that much. Perfect example. I am a perfect example. Okay, why did I put this? I put it for a reason, because I'm not going to just brag. I don't like to brag. I want to show, don't tell. Okay? 2 years ago, I was in college. I had numbness from my eye, my left eye to my left foot. Complete numbness. I couldn't feel anything on my body. Every single time I touched this side of my body, it was numb. I had a severe muscle imbalance, severe sciatica, severe mid-back, I guess nerve damage. I don't know what it was. They told me it was COVID. Anyways, 2 years ago, I decided to fully go all out on ATG. I don't know if you guys are familiar with knees over toes guy. Right? Keegan Smith, Ben Clairfield, Charles Poliquin, those coaches. I went all in on trying to address my body and stop relying on the other sources that I had. And I've never stopped training like this. And I'll show clips of athletes and how I train them now in my gym. And I train exactly like them. And I've been eating this way and doing this lifestyle and focusing on my mobility and being intentional with my training, etc. And I've never had another injury since that 2 years. And I'm talking, we've got into some scenarios where I sprained my ankle and I'm fine. Call me crazy. I'm fine. My athletes do it all the time now too. Where I tweak my knee or whatever, I fall on my back trying to dunk a basketball. And I'm fine because my body has so much more resilience because I have less inflammation, I've built up the capacities of my body, and I train every area and I never neglected one. Never neglect one. If I do 5 hip flexor raises on my right leg or my left leg, I'll go 5 hip flexor raises on my right leg. Back extension, same thing. No matter what, I'm always in balance. In balance. Balance the body in training. And we can heal the minimal injuries that I've ever had, even though we don't have them. But, for example, like 2 weeks ago, I messed up my ligament on my ankle, whatever. Few movements that I just did, quick. 1 day later, fine. Back to jumping, back to squatting, full range of motion. Last thing, your coach, PT, doctor, they do not have the secret ingredient. They don't. They don't have the secret ingredient. Even themselves are still trying to figure out the secret ingredient. There is no secret ingredient. This is the secret ingredient. The training is the secret ingredient. You gotta be versatile. You gotta be able to train your strength, your speed, your plyometrics, your mobility, all with the same intent. I wrote something in my notes today, and I want to break it down for you guys real quick. I was watching a video on Joey Burgles. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Great strength coach out of Dallas, Texas. Shout out him. And I took something from this video. It said the 4 aspects of sprinting. Now, sprinting, it's a unbiased way to tell for better athleticism in people. You don't even have to be an athlete. But in the way I train and in the way that I see people sprints and how I can improve it for them as athletes, as older people, as pro athletes, whatever it is. It's force production, which is basically just getting stronger muscle-wise. Tendon elasticity, that means strength, length, and stiffness of the tendon to be able to be springiness. So that means you actually can train your connective tissue. Okay, anybody can say what they want to say about that. Muscle strength and length, so you got to be able to be flexible and mobile. Why? Longer strides, okay? Not restriction in whatever you're doing. Coordination is another one. How do we train coordination? Well, unilateral training, split squat, 1 leg at a time, single leg back extension, single leg pressing, whatever it is, right? Coordination is a good way thinking about that balance. Also, literally just working on your sprinting specifically. Sprinting faster, there's nothing better than that, of course. But never neglect the other things. And of course, fascia, right? What is fascia though? Fascia is pretty much the lining of the body that connects all the connective tissue together. Okay, it could be here, it could be on the foot, it could be whatever it is, up to the glute, regardless. David Weck does great work on this in terms of rotation of the body. You got the landmine, right? You got the big toe stretch, Kador Ziani, absolutely phenomenal coach. All these guys are phenomenal coaches. And what I've done personally is just taken from ATG, Weck Method, Goda, Kador Ziani, Landmine University, Charles Poliquin, Louis Simmons, Jay Schroeder, all these wonderful strength coaches. And just been able to build a blueprint together to be able to help as many athletes as possible. And I'll never say that doing a specific exercise is bad. But I will say that if you're in pain and that and you almost feel like you're being delusional in the help that you're getting from specific trainers or strength coaches. I'm talking to athletes, I'm talking to coaches, I'm talking to organizations, I'm talking to schools, I'm talking to everybody right now. I don't care who sees this video, but of the amount of comments and conversations and talks that I've had with some of the top level athletes in the world, and also just high school kids and freshmen and college players, they tell me the same thing, that they're just struggling through their strength programs, and they're never getting out of their PT, and it's almost like a continuous process, and this needs to change. Okay, this video is to wake you guys up. It's to wake everybody up. Everyone. I don't care who is listening right now. I need you guys to understand that there is a way to heal your body and stop relying on external sources athletically. I hope this is recording, because I don't even know what I just said. But I want to help every single one of you. If you want to work with me, want to be part of the athletes on the team, hit the link in the description, choose the best option that works for you. I'm going on a run. I want to train the best athletes in the country, and I want to create the best athletes in the country, in the countries. And I will do so. I don't care what is trying to stop me. It will stop me. Nothing will stop me. So I'm grateful to be able to film this video, to be able to have people listen to this. So thank you for watching. And as always, stay locked in.